I decided to follow Haley's advice to upgrade my fighter, so I docked at the next Terran equipment dock. Even though I didn't have many credits, I was sure I could at least upgrade my engines and maybe even weapons. I ended up getting a couple of quality of life upgrades and left my ship to look for a captain. I spotted 2 guys standing around at the dock, of which one was not interested in a new job and the other was too expensive for my budget, so I kept looking. After a couple of minutes walking around the docks, I met Owen Chandra. He was a Marine, but also cheap enough for me to give him a pilot's assignment for my fighter. With all my tasks done, I went back to my ship, got into the pilot seat and took a look at my ship's outfitting, making sure that engineering actually did all the alterations I bought and did not rip me off. I undocked. Haley being as eager as usual to get back to work, we flew back to the militia outpost to receive new orders.
Well then, recruits, as a reward for your commitment, let me paint you a bigger picture. High Command may not like it, but if we continue to face the Xenon head-on, scouring the network with imposing fleets, heroically putting out fires wherever they flare up, we are bound to lose this war. However, this eternal meat grinder of clashing fleets cannot be a permanent solution. To truly beat the Xenon in a war of attrition, it is paramount that we instead thwart their infrastructure wherever possible. I am putting you on scouting duty. Report any sightings of Xenon infrastructure units directly to me.
Mission Command's speech did not leave me unaffected. The Xenon were a real threat. As we started patrolling, Haley was doing his usual rant about how the Xenon were just dumb machines as Mission Command cut in. They apparently monitored our comms. Who would have thought? They continued to warn us not to underestimate the Xenon since they were not just dumb machines and to be careful. As we arrived at our first patrol point, Haley told me to drop a satellite so it would lure in a Xenon scout. They were extremely fast, he continued, so it would be best to shoot it out of travel drive before we could engage it. We waited a couple of minutes as my sensors picked up a signal, a Xenon scout. I immediately started chasing it down, or to be more clear, I tried. It was simply too fast and was maneuvering like it had no mass at all. Impressive, I thought to myself. From the looks of it, it worked. They sent out a patrol to our position. This would give us time to sneak past them and destroy their infrastructure ships. We found 2 of those ships, undefended. Haley was telling me to hide under their bellies to not eat so much of their turret fire. Not that I needed that advice since I learned from my past mistakes. As one started firing at me, bam! Shields gone. Those infrastructure vessels did pack quite a punch. Well, to be honest, even with my recent alterations to it, my kukri was still a really cheap and weak ship, so I should not complain. After what felt like eternity, dodging turret fire as good as I could, losing my shield once again, I was able to defeat both of those ships. Where was Haley? Once again, there was no time to think about it. Haley spotted another of those mysterious beacons. A short analysis by Nelly brought its position to light. We approached it, hell-bent on not letting those mysterious Yaki get away with it this time. The beacon emitted a strange signal, like the one we found before, and we started looking for its source. Apparently it came from a gate, and as we approached it, we were greeted by Xenon. We didn't have the time to fight them, and from the looks of it, they weren't interested in us either. So we approached another beacon to investigate. Like I thought, once again, this beacon belonged to Yaki. Without further ado, we approached the gate using our travel drives. After all, I had no idea about what lied behind this gate, and I damn sure wouldn't take any chances. Just as I thought, the moment we jumped in, my sensors picked up multiple hostiles and a defense platform close to the gate. Fortunately, we were too fast for the Xenon to react, and so we continued trailing the signal.
Right behind you.
Out of nowhere, a figure identified by the call sign Obelisk started mocking Haley. I was immediately on high alert. What was going on here? A second female voice came in. She sounded stressed, asking this Obelisk figure what he was doing and telling him to leave us alone.
Never! This is where their meddling ends. The
I was baffled. What did I just witness? I was still listening to the strange event as suddenly something happened. Before I could think about what that was, Mission Command called. We were under attack. I immediately started rushing back to the outpost.
The entire sector is descending on us. Recruit, where on earth have you been? And where is your squad mate?
I would have to explain later, but one thing was strange. Where was Haley? I hadn't seen or hear from him ever since the strange dialogue between that obelisk guy and the other voice. But once again, another strange occurrence that had to wait for another time.
Do what you must. Use the station as cover. Draw them into our turret's line of fire. No matter what's coming at us, we will not budge.
And then they came. As Mission Command recommended, I stuck primarily close to the station and started hunting. Until Terran Intervention Corps arrived. Mission Command was not too happy about that.
All squadrons show intervention what we are capable of, and eliminate those xenon stragglers. Except for you, Recruit. I'm adding you to the admission list to Maya headquarters. We have a few things to talk about.
I was overwhelmed by all of what was happening. It all started with a simple janitor assignment. Sure, I wanted to make my name, but what have I got into? Haley was missing and I had no idea what happened to him, and now I was cited into the office of Mission Command. I sure was involved in something big.